So. Genau, der Palast. Da müssen wir heute einbrechen.
Welcome
Alles
back.
gut. Okay.
Trouble sleeping again last night.
What? So you're back. Ha!
Suck.
You look pissed off.
Yeah, you bet I am. I just got the answer about my transfer inland. Relocation denied.
Look on the bright side. The pay is better here than anywhere else, and we get to do the job how we see fit.
You're not losing your nerve, I hope.
No, not at all. But how do you know which one is the Duke? I don't know where they found that guy with the political decoy job. But he looks and acts just like the Duke.
The palace. Maybe I can find another way to neutralize the Duke.
As long as it's not me, I don't care. Anyone here? Show yourself!
Spirit. Chambers.
She could be reading the letter right now.
Jo. Was wir ja wissen ist, dass dem sein Buddy-Double raucht. Cool.
Never-ending paperwork. What's the point of being my father's son if I have to slave away like this?
Ich meine, wenn er sowas sagt, dann ist er entweder ein sehr engagierter Schauspieler oder es ist der Duke.
Someone there? Leave me. I don't think I invited you. No way!
I bet this opens the Duke's vault.
The Duchess in Green by Douglas Harwickle, historian. Much has been written on Theodanis, Abel and his sons, but in her own quiet way, the Duchess Calazabel made contributions to Zakonos that will never be forgotten. A collector of artwork, she commissioned the painting Readiness Abel's Incongruence with Time from Anton Sokolov. It was a tribute to her late son, Redanus, who died at the hands of a deranged street scoundrel while studying abroad. The Duchess Abel was also an architect and busied herself with projects as varied as the building of the Orphans of Seafarers Academy and the installation of the marble flooring in the original ducal palace. The marble was a gift to the Abel family from the late Empress Jessamine Caldwin, who had the stone quarried from the cliffs of Redmoor. However, the ducal residence was razed to make room for the new palace constructed under the direction of Luca Abel. Substantially all of the artworks and treasures from the old residence were lost or destroyed. Callas was a private person and rarely made public appearances. She died in her 57th year after a tragic fall from balcony. So, was mache ich mit dir? Soll der erstmal da bleiben. Bis ich weiß, was ich mit dem mache.
Don't look so disappointed. It's not about money. The inner circle is packed with the Duke's pets.
Rick splits. At least I'm not one of them.
Exactly. And think, when all this fighting over thrones is settled, the Duke's going to need men to take charge in the Northern Isles. By this time next year, you could be in charge of Winddown or Freyport.
Where even the most desirable have skin like pale slugs.
That's what the brandy's for.
If this plays, the machine is recharging the magnetic coil.
This must be the Duke's vault. Let's see what Duke Bell keeps hidden away in here.
Protocol.
It seems the Duke has some of the Jindosh Clockwork soldiers.
Enemy at back. The search protocol is underway. Unauthorized presence. Overheating. Overheating. Increasing our protection. Search back. Increasing audio connection. Okay, the machine has detected something. Continue search.
This is it. You must release me from this dead vessel. Only then will you be able to trap Delilah's spirit.
I don't know how I can do this. You were all I ever wanted.
I stayed as long as I could, trying to guide you. The world is better for your influence.
Be at peace, Mother. I will honor you, always.
I love you. And this is the final thought I carry into nothingness.
So it's done. Now to take Delilah's soul back to them.
What is this? The heart of my half-sister? Only her flesh remains.
Maybe Delilah's spirit was holding it together.
Jessamine is gone at last, faded into nothing. Her reward is peace.
Someone there.
Fuck. Selbstporträt. Oh ey. anscheinend muss ich trotzdem noch den anderen finden.
Waste someone else's time. That's a jolly good idea. That'll be just.
How hard could it be to clean a few things? Honestly, why do I pay for a house full of servants when they don't do anything?
Kneel down!
Being put up on the scale like some prize bull each week.
Hey, der
told
raucht.
to gain a pound or two. No offer to bow or kiss my hand.
I could say the same.
A mystery. Let's have it then. Who are you and what do you want?
Listen, I think you're the Duke's body double. You can't have any love for the man. I'm here to end his rule, and I have an idea you should hear.
All right, you've figured it out. But if you're not here to assassinate the Duke, what do you want?
It occurs to me that you might make a more agreeable Duke than Luca Abel. If I wanted to depose him without having to slit his throat, do you think you could convince people that you're the Duke?
That's bold. I have to admit it's crossed my mind. If people believed that I was actually Duke Abel, and that he was the political decoy, we could have him committed for lunacy. We could convince everyone that the double's finally lost his mind, and believes he's the Duke. I've spent years perfecting my performance. But there's a catch. He's got a medallion that I need. Even if I sound convincing, which should be the easy part, his Grand Guard officers will ask to see the medallion as proof. Luca never puts it aside.
All right. It shouldn't take me long. Once it's done, I'll be leaving the city. Soon after, I'll send instructions from Dunwall, and I'll expect a great deal of flexibility and cooperation on your part. There's still time to pull Serkonos back from the edge of the cliff. We can undo the damage Duke Abel has inflicted.
I'd like that. But I'll guide Serkonos in the ways I see fit for the people here, not as the hand-chosen puppet of your empire. If you agree with that, just render the Duke unconscious and bring him to his chambers. I'll handle the rest.
What a twisted situation. If it was me, if I was infested with blood-fly larvae, I'd probably kill myself.
That's it then. Now it's up to me. I'll take the medallion and call them.
I'll be watching. Break a leg.
Don't worry. I've spent years mimicking this asshole. Captain Almeida, come at once to my chambers. There's a problem. Quick, hide up there. Yes, Captain. Please arrest this clown. Seems that he took his role a little too seriously. Get your hands off me. He served me well for years. We'll never find anyone else who so bears my resemblance. Take him away, Captain, but be gentle.
I think I understand, Your Eminence. We'll handle it.
What? This is outrageous. I'll have you all skinned alive and set in a salt bath. If only there was something we could do for him. I suppose all those years pretending he was me. that eventually took its toll. No! Stop! I am the Duke of Securus! You can't do this!
Dr. Hypatia at Adamire will know what to do with the poor man.
I'm still trying to get my head around this. It's incredible.
Why should I trust someone who has their faith?
There. Now to wait.
So, is that it? The fall of Karnaca?
From now on, the Duke will be guided by better stars.
Back to the dreadful whale, then, and on toward Dunwall.
Yes, at long last. To take back the throne, and find a way to save my father.
Ready then?
Komisches Wasser.
Let's set out.
All right. As you want.
So, letzte Mission.
I grew up with this broken skyline. The muted colors and the way the light falls. It's Dunwall, but it's not. Have I changed, or does everything just look different when you're not wearing a crown? Whatever grand scheme you've got underway now, Delilah, you were smart when you stole this place from me. You knew who among my people to corrupt, and you took away my strongest ally. My father. But you didn't know me. You only saw a sheltered princess. You never thought I'd fight back. You don't know me, Delilah. But you will.
Remarkable what Delilah's accomplished, coming from such a background, taking the throne. You know where to go to find Delilah, but how will you handle her? It's my hope that you have some sort of plan.
It could be tricky. She might not give me any choice but to fight. And Delilah deserves whatever she gets.
At my age, I've come to distrust words like deserve. As I've told you, I knew her long ago. Badly wounded, deep at her center, but cunning, and looking for a way to pull herself up. Perhaps more than anything, Delilah had a talent for imagining the world as a better place. If only that could have been channeled towards something less twisted.
It's probably too late to dwell on regrets.
Yes, you're right. In any case, please watch yourself. I've come to care a great deal about you.
Goodbye, Anton.
Waiting for you on the deck outside. She seemed cagey earlier,
even more than usual.
I hadn't killed the Duke's... Hey, there you are.
Megan.
People have called me that for a long time, but it's a lie. My name is Billy Lurk.
Everyone's full of secrets. Why do I feel like you've got more to say?
Yeah. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but you deserve the truth. I'll just say it. 15 years ago, I ran with a mercenary gang. We got paid to kill people. Some who deserved it, some who didn't. The boss pulled me up from the Dunwall slums when I had nothing and had run out of rope. This is hard to admit.
Whatever it is, spit it out.
Our leader was the assassin Dowd, and I was part of the crew. Our last big job together, we were paid to...
You helped Dowd kill my mother?
Yes. I don't know what else to say. I've lived a very long time wishing I could take that day back, but I can't.
I can't ever forgive you for what you did. But suffering has a way of twisting people. You're a different woman today than you were then.
Yeah. We've all been hurt. But not all of us did what I did, or became what Delilah became. I know you'll never get over it, but neither will I.
I hope not. Goodbye, Billy. I'm taking the skiff, and I'll go alone from here. If old Samuel could see me now.
Take me to Dunwall Tower. Bring me back to the cage of my own chest.
Oh, I will. Delilah will be made mortal again.
You let your mother slip into oblivion. Do you know where my mother's resting? In a child's coffin, her skinny legs tucked beneath her, because I couldn't afford proper burial, while my father rests in the Imperial crypt.
You're lying.
You still can't accept it, little girl. Your father was born a nobody. I inhabit your mother's heart, and my body walks the halls of your crumbling palace and sleeps between your sheets.
If I learned anything in Karnaca, it's that birth shouldn't give anyone the right to rule. You earn it every day by serving the people who need you. Now I'm coming to end your tyranny, Delilah.
Was zum Fick ist hier passiert?
You, come talk to me. I saw the High Overseer fall. All is lost. Leave this place.
The Abbey assaulted the tower?
Somehow we were overcome. Not just Delilah's sorcerers and their gravehounds, but mechanical men. Automated soldiers. The ancient music was useless against them.
Rest now. But know that I'm going to end Delilah's reign. I swear it.
At death's door, I smell the corruption of the void upon you. A heretic against a heretic. Laughable. The world is doomed.
Brother Fitz, I bet your courage on your expedition into the heart of corruption, the once shining Dunwall Tower. Know that beyond Delilah's occult heresy, she's full of guile. Be wary, storm the tower and protect High Overseer Kulan with your life, for he will lead us back to the righteous path. But there's another thing. For years, rumors have circulated regarding the Royal Protector. If victory is secured and you manage to find yourself in his quarters alone, we want you to search for signs of blasphemy. Report back, but only to me. All my years I dedicate to the Abbey and the Oracular Order, Sister Rose Wynn. Nice.
Pigments block the wind. Finger stains. Hands sift and six hands blend. Make it. Finger stain. The wind rush. Conjure rainbows fall. Watch out! What? Look everywhere. What? Sister, are you? Let me help you. Is she dead? To die. No!
Never mind, huh? What?
Forehand sip. Oh, crap! Make the pigments block the wind.
Uha!
says Delilah's up in the throne room. But a few days ago, she was spending all her time in that bleak little overseer chapel. What's it?
I can use the elevator to reach Delilah up in the throne room.
Following the Abbey's pathetic assault, I want the power shut off in the security room, and I want this rickety old contraption locked. No more supplicants from the city riding up to beg for my graces. Come to my throne room only if your need is dire. And woe be to anyone who from outside the coven who disturbs me while I'm painting. The overseers were probably the last of our significant enemies, and now they're beaten. I trust you can handle anyone else who comes along. Your Empress Delilah Caldwell.
To restore power to the elevator, I'll have to reach the security room. The High Overseer.
So you want to die? Very fine. Drink it with tea.
Very touching mine.
Okay.
To the throne room when she was ready to start her new painting. Always exciting when she starts to sculpt or paint. But this one is special. Delilah's change everything. The world is.
You hear that? It was coming from here. Let's see.
What?
May you find freedom.
The High Overseer.
So here we are, where my dear lying half-sister Jessamine and I played as children. Where your mother bedded your father, then gave birth to you. Where she was murdered by Dowd and his black-hearted crew. The place that ruined both our lives.
You have a twisted view of the world, and I have no idea whether you're telling the truth or not. But it doesn't matter.
I thought you, of all people, would understand. Those nights as a girl in the Hound Pit's pub. Didn't you dream of getting this crown back? It was stolen from me first. Even before you came into the world.
There's suffering across the face of the world, but I was born under rare stars. I know I'm far luckier than most, Delilah. None of that excuses the destruction in your wake.
Protocols.
You're not wanted here.
Enjoy your very last minute. I want you to
Switching to alternative.
You don't stand a chance anyway.
Unauthorized displays of some. The machine has lost its quarry. Wooden housing identified as the machine has detected something back.
Is it you again? So,
Okay. Read me if this plays. Enemy evasion successful.
With the power on, I can take the elevator to the throne room.
Good.
and the humming.
Its playback indicates a young woman, armed.
I want you're not one of us. See what I can do.
Why is the electricity?
Now be down. So you want to die? Fine. What?
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 You don't stand a chance.
Speedrun. Yes, speedrun. Oh, fuck.
And the humming.
Entering combat state.
Now I'll be here. First state. Come back here.
Back charge second coil.
I'll
General
fill my
detection
pillow
state.
with your hair for luck.
Oh, anyone knows it.
Playback for unambiguous enemy. The machine has lost its quarry.
What?
Someone's
I'll grind your skull into a very fine powder and turn you into a bit of stain in your foreign little world.
Combat protocol.
Someone dead. Oh my. Come back here.
At this point, the machine sees someone behind it. Playback indicates lost enemy.
How do you want to die? An old nail picker sitting over there. I'll fill my pillow with your hand.
Oh.
Finish her.
Combat protocol 8. Unauthorized presence. Playback for combat protocols.
Come back here. Why is the I'll paint my nails red. Ow! You monster!
The machine has identified a life form with its body.
Who's there? What?
Playback for unambiguous enemy. Combat protocol 6.
What? Go no farther, stranger. You should have stayed in your boring little world. Feel my teeth. Fill my step outside and back. Both sides, you're going first.
Har vi så egentlig sådan dronen? Nej.
Rear enemy. This place.
No!
At this point, the machine cooling down.
What? I will fly! Should have seen. Here to there. I'll grind your skull into a very fine powder and drink it with tea. Knives with my mind.
Unauthorized presence.
And a hum.
So this, in case a body is discovered. Idling. General detection state. Rear lens array active. Playback indicates
Who's there?
lost enemy. Performing well. Executed. The machine sees someone behind it.
I won't let her escape. Come back here. What I can do? Think you're safe over there?
Playback for unambiguous enemy. Central rotor.
No. You're
So you want to die?
You fine. What?
Gone in return.
Hair for luck.
Okay, enemy encountered. Well, machine exploring well. Enemy with a machine. Rear enemy. If this place.
I don't like that. I won't let her stay!
Why is the...
What?
I'll be damned.
Show yourself! I'll fill my pillow with your hair for luck! I'll rip your guts apart!
Triggering electrostatic discharge.
Wrestling wire from the skin! Come back here! What?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah! Kann ich jetzt speichern? Nein.
You will take me back and die at my hands.
Feels better. Fresh air really helped. In the cavity.
What has Delilah done to my throne?
Now we can be together again, Emily.
Cool.
What's Delilah done to my throne?
We can be together again, Emily.
Ich hasse gegnerische Hunde. In jedem Kackspiel.
What has Delilah done to my throne?
I used to play hide and seek with Jessamine in this very room. You know that. You will die here in Dunwall Tower, never seeing the next dawn.
Oh, Heilung.
Who's that? You come back to me at my moment of glory.
Hey.
Should have stayed in whatever little hole you were hiding in.
Oh.
Dear niece, you've brought me back my spirit.
Follow me, dear Emily, and see how I will reshape all things.
Fast so wie Super Mario 64. Yahoo! Yeah, yeah.
So this is the world she dreams about.
Verschluckt. Nicht schlimm.
In my
Delilah's diary. These statues. Words cannot describe how I loathed them, but it was their own fault. They approached me without the proper respect. I could see what they were thinking. It was their eyes that gave them away. So now they are stone and I am the one who looks upon them with scorn. They think I'm not as regal as Jasmine. Emily is nothing. We all know that. But they compare me to my half-sister and find me wanting. Is my manner not as refined as Jasmine's? I practiced diction right along with her, in secret anyway. Hidden in her closet, tucked between the fabric of her suits. Clothes that should have been mine. I wish Jasmine were alive to see that now I am the one donned in silks. Silks! Have they served me well? One by one all my friends and allies have been eliminated. I rule over statues, mute and cold. They disgust me, and nothing is how I imagined it would be. There's still hope, even though I work on a painting that has no equal. With it, I create a perfect world where they will look on me with awe. They will love me without restraint or condition, the world as it should be. Sehr zufällig und hat irgendwie Heilzeug. Oh. Oh.
Is this Ramsey?
Ramsey's improvised diary. I trust I'll only be locked away here for a short time. I intend to record my thoughts for during a confinement. A gentleman must find ways to keep his mind alert. Additionally, one should engage in strenuous exercises to retain vigor. Therefore, I have performed a dozen lunge-style exertions for my legs, feeling quite revitalized. Day 4. I am frustrated to have been left here for so long, though it is understandable. Duke Bell and Delilah have just acquired the throne and have many urgent tasks to perform. I hope I am not forgotten amidst their other duties. But how could they forget me? It was I who tipped the scales in their favor. 10 squats performed today. Day 7. If I am meant to be humbled by this imprisonment, then let it be known I am humbled. Perhaps my role was not so important, yet I did play a part, and I hope to continue to be of service. Marched in place. Day 12. Have they no pity? The briefest audience, that is all I ask. Empress Delilah, Duke Bell, I will grovel before you, I beg you. Don't you want to see your Ramsey crouch and snivel? I am ready.
Whoa.
Mrs. Pilson? Keine Heilflaschen-Dinger. Uff. Naja. Wahoo.
So this is the world she dreams about.
Rusty wire. This is what you get to Brianna. Shouldn't my love?
Alter.
So this is the world she dreams about.
So,
Sagen wir.
Goodbye, sweet niece. Die.
So this is the world she dreams about.
Even my people love their empress. Oh my, you're take from me. In return, I take back.
Böse.
You caused too much suffering to live, Delilah.
Bye bye.
Let's sit down. I'll explain it all.
Yeah.
And so the Duke fell, and in his place rose up a man of the people. Paolo had come into the world with nothing, and knew the lives of the least privileged. Sometimes power shouts, and sometimes it whispers. In Dunwall, with the death of Delilah Copperspoon, her coven lost its power, and their short-lived coup came to an end. The rightful empress returned to the throne and began extinguishing the fires across her city. So it was that Emily the Just, Emily the Clever, would fulfill her destiny, ruling for decades over a mended empire with Corvo Attano at her side. In his day, Anton Sokolov fired the engines of industry, hurtling the empire into a more sophisticated age. He dallied with nobles, wayward artists, and great inventors alike, drinking in all that life could offer. Leaving Dunwall for the last time, he headed to the cold north, contented at last, on a final voyage to take him home. There are things that never change, no matter how hard you try. Questions you must answer. As Megan Foster faded from the world, Billy Lurk stepped from her shadow, setting out to discover her truest self, and seeking the closest thing she'd ever known to family.
Jo, das war Dishonored 2. Gucken wir noch schnell mal auf YouTube nach den anderen Enden. Kein Abspann. All endings. Okay, keine Ahnung. In der Videobeschreibung steht ziemlich viel irgendwie.
And so the Duke's reign in Serkonos came to an abrupt end, with the old order burned to the ground. Times were hard, and the people left in the rubble had no choice but to claw and fight for every last scrap. After facing a powerful supernatural enemy, the Empress and her royal protector saw a ferocious ally in the Abbey of the Everyman, who at long last began to enforce unrestrained righteousness across Serkonos. After facing a powerful supernatural enemy, the Empress and her royal protector saw a ferocious ally in the Abbey of the Everyman, who at long last began to enforce unrestrained righteousness across Serkonos. And so the Duke fell, and in his place arose a figure from the underworld. Paolo had come into the world with nothing, but was determined to leave it a very rich man. Sometimes power shouts, and sometimes it whispers. And so the Duke fell, and in his place arose a figure from the underworld. Paolo had come into the world with nothing, but was determined to leave it a very rich man. Sometimes power shouts, and sometimes it whispers. And so a man born with the face of the Duke quietly slipped into Karnaka's highest seat, enjoying all the pleasures of the Grand Palace. No one noticed the change, and if they did, they didn't dare mention it. And so the time of crisis in Karnaka came to an end, with the city's most powerful forging a new order. This uneasy alliance seized control in Serkonos, pulling all the right strings and cutting all the right throats. With the fall of Luca Abel, the Duke's line ended, and there was only one man ruthless enough to take the Grand Palace. Fighting his way up from nothing, none of his enemies were around to oppose the bloody Duke, Corvo Atano.
Mehrere Entscheidungen. Ja, das ist,
After facing a powerful supernatural enemy, the Empress and her royal protector saw a welcome.
Das hängt von ziemlich viel verschiedenen Sachen ab, was da gezeigt wird. Einerseits, ob man hohes Chaos oder halt niedriges Chaos hat. Also ob man halt während dem Spiel viel oder wenig getötet hat. Dann hängt es halt davon ab, ob man den Original Duke tötet oder halt von dem anderen Typen, von dem Doppelgänger, den mit denen austauscht. Dann hängt es halt davon ab, wem man geholfen hat, um halt überhaupt in dieses eine Gebäude reinzukommen. Also entweder dem Paolo oder diesen Abbey of the Everyman Dings, die komischen Maskenleute da halt. Dann grundsätzlich halt, wen man sonst so gekillt hat von den wichtigen Leuten. Ja.
Ally in the Abbey of the Everyman. The overseers and the sisters of the oracular order brought peace, purity, and tradition to Serkonos. After facing a powerful supernatural enemy, the Empress and her royal protector saw a welcome ally in the Abbey of the Everyman. The overseers and the sisters of the oracular order brought peace, purity, and tradition to Serkonos. And so the Duke fell, and in his place rose up a man of the people. Paolo had come into the world with nothing, and knew the lives of the least privileged. Sometimes power shouts, and sometimes it whispers. And so the Duke fell, and in his place rose up a man of the people. Paolo had come into the world with nothing, and knew the lives of the least privileged. Sometimes power shouts, and sometimes it whispers. With the fall of Luca Abel, the Duke's line ended, and there was only one man suited for the Grand Palace. Rising up from nothing, he had served the Empire with distinction. Duke Corvo Attano, the first of his line. And so a man born with the face of the Duke took his seat in Karnaca, ruling with empathy for those not born in a palace. The people were surprised by this sudden turn, but did not question their good fortune. And so the time of crisis in Karnaca came to an end, with the city's wisest citizens unscathed. Led by its new council, the southern capital was pulled back from the brink of anarchy, and Serkonos began to thrive. In Dunwall, with the death of Delilah Copperspoon, her coven lost its power and was smashed, a disastrous coup brought to an end. And thus, a new emperor rose in the capital, as Corvo the Black seized the empire and hunted down his enemies, with his precious daughter safe behind his throne for all time. In Dunwall, without ever realizing it, Delilah was banished to an imagined world where her father's lies were undone, and all her subjects would bow to her forever, as she sailed into war with a great armada and trekked across the Pendician wastes. While in the true capital, Corvo the Black seized the empire and hunted down his enemies with his precious daughter safe beside his throne for all time. In Dunwall, with the death of Delilah Copperspoon, her coven lost its power and was smashed, their disastrous coup brought to an end by the true Empress. And thus Emily the Butcher took back her empire and executed her enemies, her father standing in silence beside her throne for all her years and beyond. In Dunwall, without ever realizing it, Delilah was banished to an imagined world where her father's lies were undone, and all her subjects would bow to her forever, as she sailed into war with a great armada and trekked across the Pendician wastes. While in the true capital, Emily the Butcher took back her empire and executed her enemies, her father beside her throne for all her years and beyond. In Dunwall, with the death of Delilah Copperspoon, her coven lost its power and was smashed, their disastrous coup brought to an end. The rightful Empress once again seized her throne, and so it was that Emily the Vengeful rooted out the last of those who had betrayed her and ruled over her empire with the support of her legendary father, Corvo Attano, from the south. In Dunwall, without ever realizing it, Delilah was trapped in an imagined world where While in the true capital, Emily the Vengeful rooted out the last of those who had betrayed her and ruled over her empire with In Dunwall, with the death brought to an end, seized her throne. And so it was that Emily the Vengeful rooted out the last of those who had betrayed her and ruled over her empire with her legendary father, Corvo Attano, standing by her side. In Dunwall, there's a great armada ruled over. In Dunwall, with the death of Delilah Copperspoon, her coven lost its power, and their short-lived coup came to an end. The rightful empress returned to the throne and began extinguishing the fires across her city. So it was that Emily the Just, Emily the Clever, would fulfill her destiny, ruling for decades over a mended empire, with Corvo Attano's support from the south. Wall, while in the true capital, mended
ja, es ändern sich halt immer so kleine Sätze.
In his day, Anton Sokolov lit the fires of industry, starting a great consuming blaze at the heart of the empire. He saw his machines used for war and oppression, watching the powerful crush those beneath them. Leaving Dunwall for the last time, he turned to the cold north, his energy spent at last, only an echo of the man he'd aspired to be. In his day, Anton Sokolov fired the engines of industry. There are things that never change, no matter how hard you try. Questions you must answer. As Megan Foster faded from the
Okay, das ist anscheinend immer gleich. Ja, ja, grundsätzlich hast du halt, hat man halt 4 Sequenzen, die halt beeinflusst werden, je nachdem, was man macht. Einerseits deshalb das, was in Serkonos passiert, das, was in Dunwall passiert, das, was Sokolov macht und an sich halt Megan bzw. Billy, aber das ist ja immer gleich, anscheinend. Ja, Sokolov im ersten Teil war Sokolov der Typ, der Wissenschaftler, den wir entführen mussten und der dann in diesem Hundekäfig das halbe Spiel lang eingesperrt war.